Hello and welcome to the Ladies of the Brown Table podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Brown, and today joining me in episode 6 is my older sister, Lydia. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the episode.
I was basically like pooping my pants trying to read the map of the airport, like lost
Different.
I'm
grumpy. I spit. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm just different, apparently.
Hello and welcome back to the Ladies of the Brown Table podcast. As always, I'm your host, Sarah Brown, and today joining me is my sister, Lydia.
Hi.
So, Lydia, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you like to do for fun.
Oh goodness, I'm going to be 30 years old this year. I am a wife and a mom and a business owner, and I get to work with my husband every day, so that's pretty fun, and have a almost 4-month-old baby, so that takes up a lot of my time these days.
Yeah, that's awesome. You like to travel quite a bit. And what places have you been?
Oh man, so I've been fortunate enough to visit several different countries and do a little bit in the States. So like I've been to East Coast, West Coast a little bit, and the mountains, so I've kind of hit some of the major stuff in the U.S. Grand Canyon, that's a must-see. If I'm going to tell someone to go somewhere, you got to see the Grand Canyon at least once. And I've been to Costa Rica, been to France, Germany, Greece, Italy, random places like Montenegro, and, I'm trying to remember.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so there's probably other ones I'm forgetting, but it's been
So, most of those places you flew, right?
Yeah, so most of the places we did fly, yes.
So, did you ever have to, fly solo? I think with Germany, you went by yourself, right?
Yep, I have flown solo for 2 trips, and both of those were to Europe, which can be a little intense. Especially if you're not used to doing that. I have a friend who travels solo all the time, and she's pretty rock star at it.
Pro.
And I was basically pooping my pants trying to read the map of the airport and everything. But,
which gate am I on?
thank the Lord I made it to my destination each time, so
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm flying for the first time here in 12 days, which we have a red eye, so we have to be at the airport at 4:15 a.m.
Oh yeah.
So Sophie and I are intending to pull an all-nighter. I don't know if we should though,
Girl,
because it's 7 hours. It's not a long flight because we're going to Houston and then Houston to Honduras, but we have a 4-hour bus ride through the mountains of Honduras, which sounds kind of epic. So maybe I'll sleep there. I don't know.
but you're not going to want to miss the bus ride.
No.
You're going to want to see
I
everything.
and I'm just
That's tough.
Because Wednesday we have church, and then I'm going to need to be up at 2 a.m. to get myself ready, make sure I have everything. And I'm at that point, I'm already going to be excited, can't fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, before you travel, that is the worst sleep ever. Everyone always says get rest, because you're going to want to, be right-minded whenever you're out and about traveling. You want to be on your game, make sure everything is going the way it's supposed to, and be alert, be vigilant.
This is my first time flying and going out of the country, so I'm there's no way I'm sleeping. And I'm even excited thinking about it now, but that's not going to affect my sleep. But I remember even getting my braces on. That was the worst sleep I ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And then the day I met Joseph O'Brien, which that will be a year on Monday.
Yeah, Winter Jam.
Winter Jam is coming to Wichita the day we leave.
Oh, that's sad.
Which I was thanks a lot. And I want to see Skillet, because I love Skillet. And some other people are cool, like KB.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Yes, I hope we get to take a trip sometime. That would be phenomenal.
I hope so. I know your bucket list that you have.
There's not much on there.
I know there's not.
There's
there's not much left. You've done so many awesome things.
Yes.
But I have a dream of someday taking all of our sisters and maybe our mom on a girls trip to somewhere epic.
Prince Edward Island. That's Mom and I are talking about a senior trip there.
Honestly,
we don't do those, but I will hitchhike. I just want to go.
We're gonna take a collective senior trip, and for every single girl in our family.
Dude, it would be so worth it because we have our passports. Brenna has hers, which for Canada you just have to get the card. You don't have to get the full book.
Yeah,
but this will be my first passport stamp, which will be really cool.
I'm not gonna lie, it is such like a gratifying experience, and I'm sad I didn't get more of them from the countries we went to because we didn't like go through an airport every time we went to like a new country because we were on a boat, and so like I'm sad I don't have stamps from some of those places, but it's a really cool experience, like getting to have that in your little book.
And I don't have the privilege of having it for 10 years. Sophie and I only have it for 5 years. And the lady said, do not make, like, any faces. So I look like I just got caught with bad things in my trunk. And it looks like a mugshot. And Sophie's is even worse because her hair is in French braids and they're frizzy. And she's like... it looks so bad.
I feel like you're not a human if you have a good passport picture or driver's license picture. Like, if you look good in your ID,
something's wrong with
you. You're a
yes.
robot, something's wrong with you. Or if you're like my husband, he says he doesn't, but he purposefully looks horrendous in his ID photos. Like, he makes bug eyes, he'll like have his hair all crazy.
Oh my goodness.
He'll make sure he has like the fattest mustache he can grow, and it's like,
which next time I get my passport renewed, I'll have it for 10 years. And even the 5-year difference, like my 5-year difference from 2020, I was like, dude, what happened? Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Next year, I really want to do E-Team, and that's a Free Will Baptist, like, mission thing. You're gone for, like, 3 weeks. My friend, she's gone to Japan, Panama, and then another girl I know, she went to France with hers.
Oh, wow.
So you go do missions work with a Free Will Baptist church plant there, and that'll be really cool to do. And next year, I'll be eligible to do that, which I think will be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, like, travel while you can, and, of course, if you're traveling in the name of the Lord, doing good.
Even better.
That's even better.
Yeah.
But traveling is one of those things that I definitely wish that I had done more of, when I was younger, and I got to do a lot. But looking back, I'm like, oh, I should have done even more, and it just gets harder and harder, like, when you have a family and a full-time job. But it's something that, like, I look forward to a lot. Like, even just taking, like, short road trips, with a friend or with your husband. I love that. Like, I love traveling and making memories. And I feel like there's just something about traveling that, like, bonds you to people. It's special.
For sure. When we went to Arkansas, that was time of my life, bro. That was really fun.
Maybe one of my favorite family trips.
I try to look up that house on Airbnb, but I literally can't find it to kind of get like nostalgia. And I'm like, bro, because I'm searching everything.
I know,
using my stalker girl
I'll
skills.
Have to send it to you.
Because it was a really pretty house, the deck and stuff in the backyard, and then it had like that dog.
A TV episode of because do you remember they like. It looked totally different.
They redid it.
When I booked it and we got there and we were like, oh, this is the wrong house. And then they sent me a message saying, hey, this house was recently on like a TV show where like it got remodeled.
And that'd be so cool to be like, I stayed there. I slept in that bed.
I'm like, in that one room that was locked that we could see from the balcony. Do you remember that?
Was that toward the bottom of the house?
It was on the upper floor, like right on the other side.
Oh, yes, I do remember that,
table.
Yes.
There was that locked bedroom that like we could see from the balcony.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Peek in the window, and it looked like beautiful.
It had hammocks, and that was like prime time.
Hammocks, and you could see
even
Beaver Lake.
Which we did go swimming, and the sticky watermelon residue is still on my hands. I'm convinced. It was great though. The food phenomenal. That oven it had that.
Oh, the pizza oven?
Dude,
okay.
That was pretty sick.
We didn't know how the heck to use it, but it was still vibes.
It looked aesthetic.
It was nice. My dream house has a pizza oven in the backyard or the kitchen, like 100%.
Oh, yeah, for
My
sure.
dream house has a giant bathtub and a pizza oven.
My dream house looks like a cabin in the woods somewhere, probably Montana.
Montana?
I don't know. I just like up north, but still in the States.
Yeah. Montana is like a world away.
Okay,
like,
maybe not Montana. Maybe like Wyoming.
Well, I mean, when you think about, like, how far it is of a drive to get to Montana,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, wow, that's up there.
But not the Dakotas. I'm like, that's pretty much glorified Kansas right there.
Yeah, I feel like it looks like Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska, I mean, there's slightly a little more hills, but it's just Kansas.
Fine, but
The Midwest looks pretty much similar.
yeah, there's parts of Kansas that are a lot prettier than other parts.
Western Kansas is really pretty with all those rocks and stuff.
Yes,
You
parts
know,
of it.
yeah.
I feel like if you drive to Colorado from, like, where we live, it's like a
flat.
10-hour drive of
Yeah.
just nothing.
Yes, for sure.
Tumbleweed and bobcats and stuff like that.
A bunch of people who like K-State.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
Boo. Hey, March Madness. KU is on a losing streak,
They
but
have
it's
not done
okay.
great.
It's okay.
I did not
just-
want to bring that up today.
Just pray for Coach Self. He's probably having some sort of heart failure.
I think that man is, like, probably 2 games away from, like, an aneurysm, but I don't want to put that on anyone.
I think he needs to stop worrying about his hair transplants and start worrying about transferring some players to a different team. Like, I'm telling you.
Oh my
Like, we have Hunter Dickinson who's 7'2" or 7'1". I don't know. Give or take an inch. Doesn't really matter. He's in shoes.
I mean, what's your past 7?
Yeah, it's like, whoa,
that's
you're
all
tall,
whatever.
you're tall. He is doing nothing for us right now. He's tall, he can do defense. Doesn't want to lay a finger on anybody. And I'm like, you want to get drafted in the NBA looking like that? Nothing's gonna happen. I don't know, I'm kind of salty, but KU's football stadium just got rebuilt, and they're...
Oh, is it finished?
Yes, they finished it.
Oh,
or
gosh.
it's gonna be finished for this season, so...
Yeah.
Our women's softball is doing awesome. They've had one game, they won, and our men's baseball is doing great, and the hockey's done, I think. So,
I literally know sports ball. That's awesome.
sports ball, yeah.
Sports ball. Yay, sports ball. Go Jayhawks.
Go Jayhawks. Yeah, I try to keep up with most of their stuff, but
Yeah.
hopefully they can get with it. I'm obviously not expecting them to win. If they're anything like the Chiefs, they're gonna get really close and then just embarrass us all, but it's fine.
It's hard when they're still right at the end, but as of right now, KU's basketball hasn't been great, and that's really the only thing I follow.
Which we went ranked for all season up until last week.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of like, what? But just pray for the Jayhawks. They need a little hand of God and a mighty, mighty way.
It's hard because you're like, I understand not every year can be our year, but
we haven't had a year in a
haven't had a year
minute
in a while.
in like 3 years, so we need a...
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that was the 2022. That was a very good team because we had Christian Brown. And he plays for the Nuggets. He's a starter for the Denver Nuggets, and I'm very proud of him. He actually scored, like, a bunch of points last night.
If I was gonna be a fan of an NBA team, because I don't know anything about the NBA, not gonna lie, it would be the Nuggets, because that's my thing. I'm a Nugget girl.
Yeah, I do not follow the NBA. I just follow the teams that have KU alumni.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, the Nuggets are the only ones that have struck my interest. I think Joel Embiid is on the 76ers, which is cool, but it's like,
He like basically has your name.
It's spelled Joel, but I tell people I'm named after him.
Joel
Embiid. So, that's cool.
That's a cool name.
So, have you been reading your Bible this week?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Me too. I've done it every single day consistently, and I'm very proud of myself.
Oh.
I had like a 200-day Bible streak, and then I was a sinner one day and didn't open the Bible app.
It's so funny because like you don't know that you're a sinner that day, but then all of a sudden you realize
The next morning
I
you're
was
like,
a sinner. I don't know how that happened.
I didn't mean to.
Oh.
The thing I hate most is having to open my Bible app and be like, you missed 2 days, and having to shift dates forward. And I was like, no! Because I don't want to catch up on it all, because I want to, I want to soak in, what it has. But today I did have to catch up, because I was like, dude, I need to finish this plan.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it for, 2 weeks, and I was like, dude, what is happening?
Yeah, some of those plans, you start them, and you're like, it's not hitting the way I thought it was going to, but you feel like
that's
you
why I
have
always
to finish
sample
it.
I always sample it.
Yeah,
and
always.
most of the time I do the Bible Project plans because I just like
Those are dope.
their style.
Yeah.
When they have the little videos, even better.
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing the Upside Down Kingdom. We're in Luke, and it's just seeing Jesus' ministry and how untraditional it would be, like, for a normal king. But he wasn't a normal king. He was the King of Kings.
The king.
So where have you been at reading wise?
Right now, so I do all my reading on the Bible app currently, just because being a nursing mom, I have a lot of time just sitting there, and usually I don't have my Bible next to me, but I do have my phone next to me. So
Real?
I know that I can at least be consistent if I do it on my phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been going through a few random plans, but recently I've been reading a plan about trusting God, and I feel like I've been in kind of a rut where, like, a lot of these plans, like, it just, I'm not really connecting with them. They're not really, like, you know, they don't hit my soul, you know? And maybe it's just because I'm not being intentional. But this one, I'm like, oh, wow, this is speaking, like, to me.
Yeah, the plans that call you out are the ones that I remember the best because I was like, dude, that was convicting.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's in a relatable manner because it's like, oh, I really screwed up with this. And it's like, oh, bro, I just did that yesterday, you know?
100%.
And they're really good. I really like Mike Donaghy's God's Will for My Life. Something like that.
Okay.
And I really liked it because it was really relatable. Took sections from his book. And he sings for 10th Avenue North, so that was even cooler.
Okay, yeah, okay, I was like,
and
I know that name.
I don't know, I really liked it, and I listened to it, I have to listen to it, because I'm like, dude, listening helps me retain better. And he read his devotion, and just hearing him say it, and hearing him, like, animate the words, I was like, dude, I feel like you're talking to me. And it just was very down to earth, and it was, like, almost like a conversation, but obviously it was one-wayed. And I don't know, it was really good, and I thought the scripture usage was in context. That's something that makes me mad about plans. It's like,
yeah,
be a preppy Christian whatever, girl, and I'm like, girl, in the context, Jesus did not mean what you're trying to get it to say. And that's why you have to take everything captive and be like, okay, not necessarily what was their intention behind putting this there, but, like, is this just trying to make me feel good? And it's like, no, actually, there's, like, context.
Yeah, there are times you're like, I see why they put this here, and, like, I get it. And honestly, I mean, you have to be paying attention to even, like, realize that maybe they're using something that they shouldn't be using there.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know the whole story of where that scripture is, and they're using just one verse, and you're like, that's not what that was about, but I understand. So
I see where you're coming from. But
yeah. So, like, I don't know. I struggle with some of those plans that are very, like, just topical. And I feel like sometimes it would be better to do, like, something like you're doing, like, where you're going through, like, a whole book or something.
Yeah.
Or,
because then you get it in context and you understand, like, what they're talking about. And my favorite, I'm a nerd about, like, the history stuff. So, like, being like, oh, I saw a video on Psalm 23, and it was like, you know, my cup overflows. When you're at a king's banquet, like, back in that time, depending on how much wine was in your cup, that's how much the king liked you. So for David to use that metaphor and be like,
oh, it's so cool.
And it's like, I love finding little, like, nuggets like that. And it's like, dude, this is so cool. And it just shows me how, like, intentional God was through these people.
Yeah.
Or, like, Jesus and, like, many of his parables, they'll have, like, obviously double meaning, and it's, like, for that time, though, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, I just heard something the other day, it was from Sky Jitani, who's one of the, do you know about the Holy Post?
I don't.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So it's the guy, why did I just forget his name? It's the guy who did VeggieTales.
Okay.
Not Mike Naraki, the other guy. Phil Vischer. So it's Phil Vischer's podcast, and he has another guy who's a pastor and author, and he was just talking about something like that, and it was like this huge correlation. That's what it was about. It was about how, like, we're made in the image of God, and when God created the earth, he put the image of God in the temple that he was creating, which is the universe that he created. So, like, and he was talking about how when a temple was made, there had to be like the actual like deity, like the idol or whatever in the temple before it could be like used. And so he was saying like,
wow,
that was God putting his image in the temple when he created man, and it just like it
that's
blew my
crazy.
mind. Yeah.
I love things like that so much because it's like
cool.
God isn't like, he's very intentional with what he does and what he says. And like the Bible, yeah, there's books of Enoch and there's other history books, but he had the books there and the scrolls there that were meant to be there. And I'm not saying it's not cool to learn about Nephilim, because I'm all for that, but it's like I like the Genesis stuff and the you know, conspiracy theories about them. But that wasn't like, because if you're a new believer, what in the flip is a Nephilim and what are they doing?
Yeah, and some people like really want to know about that stuff right off the bat, but
most of the time it's like, okay, what is Leviticus and why is it all these laws, you know?
We all want to know that.
Well, I've had a couple new believer friends be like, where do I even start? And I'm like,
not Leviticus.
do not read it through. Well, obviously eventually, but a proverb of the day, keep staying away. That's just... I mean,
Proverbs do hit, though. No. Like, they're so good. You forget
sometimes
the gems, but
you're
like, oh,
cry.
Yeah, God just is telling me how to be an actual human sometimes.
Yeah. My favorite one is, like, it convicts me so much. It's the, as a lazy person rolls over on its bed, just like a door on its hinges, and I'm like, gotta get up, because it's so easy to reach over for your phone in the morning and be like, oh my gosh, Instagram, but it's like,
I'd love to rot, and God's like, that's not.
It's so convicting, because it's literally just how to live life, and live life to the fullest, and it's convicting sometimes, but then sometimes it's like, oh, I was kind of wise right there, you know, but then it's like a person who's wise in their own eyes is a fool.
Like, oh, dang it, I never win.
And then the next day it's like totally calling you out. It's like, okay, I liked last chapter. It was so good. So good. Well, kind of on a, I don't know if I can call this a spiritual topic, but what's your opinion on the Enneagram? Because let me preface, I know nothing. I think I've taken the test. I'm a 1 with a wing of something, 2 or 9.
It's either 2 or 9, yeah.
But
you have both.
We'll let Lydia decide. So I know nothing. I don't know anything about the origins. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel her. I'm sure it's fine.
I mean, so like I personally really enjoy the Enneagram. I think it's a great tool, just like Myers-Briggs, just like, you know, whatever color the freak you are.
Are you like, an autumn or a soft spring?
Exactly. Whatever your aura is. No, just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
We're not even going to go there. But no, Enneagram I think is a really helpful tool. I find it super interesting. Some people definitely joke that it's like demonic or something. But I'm like, you know what? Use your spiritual discernment there. And if it's not for you, like, it doesn't have to be for you.
Nobody said you had to do it.
No, and like, I think it's a very helpful tool. Definitely not something that, like, you can just point at someone and be like, oh, you're a 4. I know everything about you. Like, it's so much deeper than that. And it doesn't, like, just give you an automatic answer to, like, oh, that's why you're the way you are. But, like, for me, it was kind of a revelation, and I actually felt, like, so seen and, like, loved by God when I realized that, like, obviously I knew He loved me, but when I found out that I was an Enneagram 9, I didn't know that other people actually felt the way that I felt. Like, it was such a, I want to say, like, healing moment for me.
Yeah.
And, like, I cried. I was like, actually, I did not know that, like, other people were made like this, and I thought I was just kind of crazy and, like, lost.
Different.
And,
I'm grumpy. I spit. I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm just different, apparently.
I think it's great. Obviously, not for everyone. It's got a lot of layers, and if you're someone who likes to go deep on a subject, like, the Enneagram has so many different things. You start talking about wings and subtypes and stances and your stacking of your subtypes or whatever, and you're just like, well, I don't know what the heck you're saying.
English, please.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool. A lot of people think it's like, Christian, like, what is that? what the stars stuff.
Oh,
Horoscope.
astrology.
Yeah,
okay.
Christian like horoscope or astrology or whatever. But I don't think it's...
Which, and I don't think you do this, not to my knowledge. You're not like, oh my gosh, I gotta go look at my Enneagram for today or whatever.
Oh, no.
It's not necessarily,
like
obviously.
Well, it's like saying like if you're like a Leo or a whatever, that kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
which I'm a Leo.
Which I don't understand. It's like, how do you expect everybody born in September from the 1st through the 20th to act the same? It's like,
right.
I know people born in September that are very different from me, and then I know people that are
mm-hmm.
similar to me, and it's like, girl.
Which, I mean, like, it is that way with the Enneagram. Like, so I love to blow my husband's mind. He's not super into it, but I like to just drop nuggets on him every once in a while just to try and let him know why I am the way I am. But I told him, like, okay, so this person is a 9, this person is a 9, and I'm a 9. Do you think we're all similar? And he's like, absolutely not. He's like, you guys are like some of the most different people I could think of. And I think that frustrates him because he's like, how are you the same, but you're so different? And so I
only know one person who's a 1, and we kind of match up, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, some of the stuff definitely checks out.
And
like, it's very similar.
Obviously, I don't live by it. I don't live by my Myers-Briggs. My sister and I, we have the same Myers-Briggs, Micah and I, but we're completely different.
Exactly.
Which I'm an extrovert, she's an introvert, so I guess it's a little different.
Okay.
But we obviously know our identities in Christ, and we're daughters of the King. But I do think it's cool because I met somebody, and they asked me if I knew what I was, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm a 1. And they're like, oh, that explains why you're so good at helping. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, I'm a 7.5. And I'm like,
yes, you are.
Okay. Good to know, Becky.
Yeah. Thanks, Becky.
Thanks, Becky. But I don't know. I thought it was cool because if it's something people can relate, like if you know, oh, I'm a 9 too, you know, and like you can relate about it, I think that's cool. But yeah, I definitely don't know about it. I'm never opposed to learning about new things, so I don't know. I know what I am, and that's cool, I guess. But
God made you special, just the way you are.
Yeah, for sure. Well, folks, this was my older sister Lydia. And I will catch you guys next time. It will be a while because I'm going to Honduras 12 days. Pray for safe travels. Pray for just a move of God while we're down there. And I will be back hopefully before April, but it might be April. But it's March. February was a blink, and I'm so grateful for that. But we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.